Well guys, this review is about a Continental tyre. Now I normally don't buy Continental tyres because I'm a Veloflex man and I like to get that nice cotton carcass, gives that really nice plush ride. So I keep away from the Continental type tyres, and I've had Continental competitions before. Wasn't really a fan, but how did I end up with these Continental Gatorskin? Well, I did a bit of a swapsy with a guy at work, and he gave me some of these very old Reynolds carbon wheels, and they came with these Continental Gatorskin. And I thought, okay, well, they've still got quite a lot of tread on them. They seem in pretty good condition, so I'll just keep riding them until they wear out. And I didn't expect much from them, but it turned out that they weren't too bad. So let's roll the intro and let's have a bit of a talk about these Continental Gatorskin and how do they compare to something like the cotton tyre that's I've got on my look bike. Well, I was quite surprised with the ride. Now, just to clarify, these are the tubular version, and they look like the Continental competitions that have the little dimples on it. They're not like the GP5000s or the GP4000s that have quite a different tyre pattern. So these ones are probably quite a different tyre to the clincher or the tubular ready tyres. So they probably perform a little bit differently. And when I started riding them, I didn't really pump the pressure up. I usually run about 80 in the front and 100 at the back. And the ride was actually pretty good. I expected it to be very coarse and very harsh. And I was quite surprised for a puncture-proof tyre, or Continental advertised it as a puncture-proof tyre, how compliant the tyre was. And I was quite pleased with how they ride. Now, you got to say to yourself, but yeah, well, should I really buy the Veloflex? Well, yes, they do feel better, but the difference between the Continental Gatorskin and the Veloflex, which is a cotton casing tyre, the difference wasn't huge. They were better, but I expected them to be a lot bigger difference than there was, and I was quite surprised how the bike rode. It didn't have that real harshness that you can get with a lot of these puncture-proof tyres. So really, if you're looking at these Continental Gatorskin, and these are 22mm ones, so they're quite small. It's not like they've got a lot of air capacity in them like the trends going to the bigger tyres, and they're on the Reynolds Assault wheels. They're quite an old ones. They had to have the hubs replaced and built up. But yeah, they ride really well. So the next thing is how will they wear? Well, it seems to be they're wearing really, really well. They're not wearing out very quickly. Of course, a guy had them before me, so he rode them for some time, and then I rode them for some time, and they seem to be wearing quite well. So the rubber on them, I don't think is as soft as the Continental competition. It's a little bit harder, a little bit more resistant, because the Continental competitions used to wear like pretty fast. So these ones, I think the rubber compound would be a little bit more harder or dense, or not a soft compound as the Continental competitions if you use those tyres. Now, I will say that they weren't that hard to get on the rims, but remember, they're not brand new, because the Continental tubular tyres have a really bad reputation for mounting. They're like insanely tight to get on the rims, and that's one of the reasons why I don't run them. But these ones, maybe because they've been on the wheels, they've been stretched a little bit, they weren't too bad. So the mounting of them, I really can't comment on at this point in time, because I haven't bought them from new. I only got them secondhand. But as a secondhand or worn set of tyres, they weren't too bad to get on. As far as cutting and getting cuts on them, because the Continentals are really renowned for getting those splits that looks like someone's got a little knife and cut them. I don't know why they do this. I don't get this at all with the Veloflex or the cotton type tyres. It looks like a cut, and they look like they're quite deep, but it seems to be something that is related to that type of construction, or those Continental type constructions. With the cotton type casing, I've even had Victorias, and they don't seem to get this kind of, it looks like just someone's got a knife and just cut them, but you don't get that. Yes, you get little type of marks and things on them, but not that typical cut that you get with Continental tyres. So I'm getting that, but generally you don't have to worry about it too much with the Continentals. It doesn't generally lead to a puncture. It just, like, you go, hey, looks like there's a cut in the tyre. So that's just something, the way that they've worn, and it's typical of Continental. It's nothing to be worried about. And as I said, it doesn't seem to lead to any punches. So that's just something you see as the tyres age. But yeah, the tyre and the wearing is actually pretty good. So in conclusion, what do I reckon of them? Well, I reckon for a tyre that is sold as a puncture-proof tyre, I would have to say they're pretty good. The trade-off for the ride is not that bad, and also you're getting that extra puncture protection. And unlike the Veloflex and Victoria top tyres, they don't come with a latex tube, which some of the sealants can attack. It comes with a butyl tube, so you can put the sealants in and it doesn't attack the inside tubes as quickly. So you can be a lot more confident about putting the sealant in your tyre. And of course, they come with a removable valve like the Veloflex do and like the Victoria do. But be aware that if you buy the Sprinters, which I wouldn't recommend, they really are like riding on concrete, and they don't have a removable valve. They're like a pretty crappy type tubular. I wouldn't recommend them. They're a pretty bit of a nasty type tyre. Yeah, they're cheaper, but there's just no point. If you're riding tubulars and you're riding them because you want that nice ride feel, and you've bought them specifically to get that nice feel and have a lighter setup, why buy a cheap tyre? So they're not like the Sprinters. They're a lot better than the Sprinters. So they're a pretty good all-round tyre. And of course, they're on my rain bike. So I really love it because it gives me a little bit more security, because I'm riding in really crappy weather. And of course, everyone knows when you've had a storm and it's raining and it's been windy, you get all of the leaves, all of the twigs and everything falling off the tree. You get water flowing, so it moves glass and everything onto the road and onto the pavement. And they've been really good. I haven't had a puncture yet since I've had them. So I've been really pleased with them, and I must admit, I would be tempted to buy them again. And if I do buy them again, I'll give you an update on how difficult they are to mount, because Continental tubulars typically are a real pain in the neck to get onto your rims. And if you've ever bought them and you've ever done this, you'll know what I'm talking about. Well, anyway, guys, if you've run Continental tubulars before, what do you reckon them? Have you got any tips for mounting them? And how have you had the wear and the ride comfort on them? Leave those comments down below so the community can learn from the different interreactions of what tyres are good and what tyres are worth buying, because Continental have, in the clincher form, have a really good reputation. And the GP4000s were a really amazing and popular tyre. And the GP5000, some people say, yeah, they're kind of not better than the 4000s. Some people even still say the 4000s are better. But Continental, in the clincher form with the tube tyres, do make a very popular and very good tyre. Well, anyway, guys, that's where I'm going to leave it, and I will see you next vid.